Hi everyone, and welcome back to my Flosstube channel. This is my third video now. Welcome to new subscribers and new watchers, and thank you for returning to previous subscribers and previous watchers. I've realised that even though this is my third video, I've not actually said that much about myself as a person. So I don't know whether you've heard of this or not, but there's a thing on Flosstube called Know Your Needleworker tag. And it's a series of questions, and I believe it was made up by a floss tuber called Whimsy Daisical back in 2014. And it's just a series of questions so that you can learn a little bit more about the person that you're watching on Flosstube. So the first question is, where do I live? I live in the southwest of England currently. My husband is in the forces and we do move around quite a bit, although we're hoping to stay in this area now. We've been here for over 6 years. We like it round here. I'm originally from the north of England, North Yorkshire in particular, but I haven't lived there for over 12 years now. So this is where we call home, Wiltshire in southwest England. What do I do for a living? Well, as it's still pretty much lockdown in the UK, the lockdown is easing a little bit, but the schools are still closed. I do work as a domestic assistant, so cleaner basically, in the boarding house of a lovely boarding school. And it's actually the boarding school that Prince William's wife went to, Princess Catherine. She went there many years ago, not while I worked there though, unfortunately. We've had a couple of other princesses. Princess Eugenie went there as well. So I work there in one of the boarding houses with a team of 5 or 6 other people, and we clean the bedrooms, clean up after the kids, clean up after the teenagers. It's nice. I have got my back door open currently, and there are things driving past, so unfortunately there might be a bit of noise out in the background. Do I have any children? Yes, I do. I've got 3 children. My oldest daughter is 22, my son is 18, and my youngest daughter is 12. My oldest daughter currently, since the beginning of lockdown, has been living on a narrowboat, on a canal boat. She bought the boat in December, but properly moved in just at the beginning of lockdown. So she lives there with her boyfriend and her dog. My son still lives at home. He's 19 next month. He was at college, but unfortunately college finished, obviously because of lockdown. That was going to be his last year. So there won't be any college for him now. And my other daughter, she is 12. She's at secondary school, and she is mad on football, absolutely mad on football. She's played football for over 6 years, and she plays the position of goalie. So she plays for a local town. I just had to go and shut the back door there because there's just too many cars going past. Right, next question 4 is, do I have any pets? Yes, I do. We have 2 dogs, but sort of 3 dogs, because there's my daughter's dog as well. He did live with us right up until she moved on to the narrowboat. So the dogs are, 2 of them are collies, border collies, black and white border collies, and one is a Jack Russell cross, who we only acquired a couple of years ago. He belonged to my husband's mother, but unfortunately when she passed away, we took care of the dog. So he's become part of the furniture now. I'll try and find some photos and put pictures of the dogs in here. I've also got a cat. She lives in my bedroom. She used to come downstairs, but since we've got the little dog, they don't get on whatsoever, so she tends to just stay upstairs most of the time. So what other hobbies do I have besides stitching? Many. Apart from eating and complaining that I'm getting fat, that's my best hobby. I just acquired a sewing machine during lockdown, something that I've always wanted to learn how to use. Haven't used one since being in secondary school. So I managed to get my hands on a sewing machine. I think I mentioned it in the last video. And I've been practicing making a few things with that, just quite simple things. The first things I started to make were my WIP bags and grime guards. So this is my little WIP bag, lined. and just simple things like cushions. I've made these cushions during lockdown. What else did I make? Some scrunchies, things like that. Just simple things. I'm just getting to grips with the sewing machine at the moment. So that's one hobby. That's a new hobby. What else? I have done things like decoupaging bottles. I'll put some pictures of my bottles in here. Making rag wreaths, upcycling furniture. I'm just anything crafty, really, anything crafty and quite artistic. Not a drawer or a painter, but anything crafty like that I'm quite into. And I have made some birthday cakes. That's not so much a hobby, that's more out of necessity, of having to make birthday cakes for family members, but that's something that I do sometimes as well. What is my favourite movie? There's been many over the years. I'm not big on chick flicks, really. My husband loves chick flicks, I don't so much. I quite like action films, science fiction films. I don't particularly think that I could say one film that I love. I do have a favourite TV show, which brings me on to my next question, which is your favourite TV show? That's Outlander. Me and my husband both got into Outlander thanks to my mother. She'd been trying to ask me she'd been asking me to watch it for absolutely months, years even, about 4 years. And in the end, I gave in and watched one episode, both me and my husband, the first episode, obviously, of series 1, and we just absolutely fell in love with it. So much so that we actually had an Outlander-inspired holiday to Scotland and the Scottish Highlands last year. Me, my youngest daughter, and my husband drove all the way up there, about 800 miles, and just visited a few of the Outlander locations, and we just absolutely loved it. We had a great time, and we've actually booked to go again a year in August, not this year because we didn't want to risk booking for this year, but we've booked to go back to the same cottage, which has a hot tub in the garden, next August, and we're already looking forward to that. So that would be my favourite TV show currently. Other than that, on TV, we don't watch a massive amount of TV. We do watch the television, but we're watching YouTube most of the time. Previously, one of my favourite TV shows has been Time Team, which actually hasn't been made for quite a few years yet, but it was an archaeology programme that I absolutely loved. So Time Team, if I'm ever watching TV, I'm either watching Flosstube or reruns of Time Team. What is my favourite book? So Outlander comes from a book, obviously, but I haven't actually read the books. I know that's kind of, I shouldn't really admit to that. It's frowned upon in the Outlander community, but I haven't read the books. But one of my absolute favourite books, which I've read a couple of times and listened to as an audiobook, is a book called Remember Me. I should have had it here with me so I can get the author, but I'll put the author in the blurb below. But it's about a real person who was transported to Australia as a young girl back in the 1700s. It's sort of the same sort of time scale as when Outlander's set, actually. But she was transported from London to Australia, and she was one of the first people to arrive in Australia to build the colony there. And like I say, it is based on a true story, and it's just her story. She comes from Cornwall and ends up going to Australia, does end up coming back to the UK, but I'm not going to tell you much more than that. But it's harrowing but fascinating as well, because you know that it's a true story. So that's my favourite book. It's called Remember Me. What is my favourite music? It depends on my mood. I do love pop music. I do love 90s dance music, taking me back to my youth. But there's just, you know, there can be the odd song. I love the Eagles. Used to love the Eagles a lot. It just depends on what mood I'm in, really. And one word that best describes you. There's more than one word. I'm sure, depending on who you would ask, there was more than one word. But creative. I think definitely creative. That is one word that describes me. So that is the Get to Know Your Needleworker tag. I hope that's cleared up a few things for me. If there's any other questions or anything else that you want to know about me, please ask in the comments. I will just say that I don't seem to be getting notifications when people comment on my videos. I don't know why. I've tried everything. I've tried everything on my phone. I don't know why, but I do check every now and again to see if anyone's left me a comment. So if it does take me a little bit of time to get back to you, that's why, I'm afraid. Just to let you know that. So next, I've got my little list here. So I've done the Get to Know You, the Needleworker tag. I can't seem to be able to say that today. Right, where should I go now? I have 2 FFOs. If you don't know what FFOs are, it means fully finished objects, which means they're fully stitched, done all the beading if there is any, and framed. One of my fully finished objects has already gone to the person it was made for, which is my husband, and it was the Royal Engineers emblem that I was trying to work on before, but I couldn't get it finished because I didn't have the thread. I am still waiting for that order to arrive. There's been a bit of a hoo-ha about that order. It's been pretty upsetting. I paid for an order of stuff. It's never arrived, even though the sender insists she sent it. Thankfully, I've managed to get my money back because I did pay by PayPal, but I paid by friends and family, which is, I tell everyone that's a no-no. You shouldn't do it yourself, and then I did it myself. But thankfully, I have managed to get the money back. She's given me it, even though she insists that she's posted me the stuff. It's been weeks now. I ordered it on the 22nd of May. It's been weeks. I've ordered plenty of stuff in that time, and some stuff has come within 1 to 2 days. I've since heard that seller has got a bit of a reputation for doing this. She also sends out threads on bobbins, says that they're genuine threads, but they're on bobbins, they're not on skeins. And I've compared 2 bobbins. I've compared 2 colours, one of a DMC original that I know is genuine DMC, and one that I know is from this lady, and they don't look the same to me. So I think she might be selling fake threads. Anyway, all that's by the by, but it has been quite an upsetting situation this week with that. So the reason I started speaking about that is because I was waiting for some threads to come from her so I could complete the Royal Engineers cross stitch. But through having to wait for so long, I ended up digging into my stash, and I found that I actually had some DMC 310, which is the black. I did have some sitting there all along, so I managed to get it finished. 5 hours straight of stitching last Friday, because my husband only comes home at weekends, and it was his birthday on Friday. I wanted it to be complete and framed for when he walked in the door. Managed to get it done, thank God. My fingers were bruised and bleeding, but thanks to the Ada that it was in, but I did it. So I'll have to put pictures in here, as I don't actually have the finished product here now, because he's taken it back to where he stays during the week, so he can have it there.
Yep.
So that is one FFO, and then my second FFO, which is for my niece, is this beautiful lady. Oh dear, let me just, there we go, that should be a little bit better. It's such a nightmare with the glare. So this is Nora Corbett's, one of the letters from Nora, fairy letter M. And this is a conversion that I made myself, because she's supposed to be, she's designed by Nora with a green dress, and the M is a slightly different colours, and I wanted to make it a bit more girly and personal. And she does have 3 different colours of beads on Nora's design, but I just used 2. I didn't really feel like it needed any more. I hope you can see that without too much glare. But she is framed in one of my bargain frames that I got as well on the Facebook selling sites. I need an intervention when it comes to the Facebook selling sites, because I'm always trawling them for things. And she is framed on one of a box of frames that I got for £10, which was an absolute bargain. Or a couple of different sizes. There's 4 of these ones and a large size one, and someone was just getting rid, and so that was a brilliant bargain. So that is my second FFO. I just need to turn my laptop back on so that I can get onto my list. I wanted to do the skin on her 1/1. I don't think you can see it. Anyway, I wanted to do the skin on her 1/1, but it was 32 count linen, which I've never stitched on before. It was just too small. I just couldn't do it. I struggled to do it on 28 count, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Yeah, I just couldn't do it, unfortunately. So I didn't do 1/1 skin. Speaking of bargains, this was even more of a bargain. This was free. A lady commented on one of my videos who actually dyes Aidas and linens, and especially for cross stitching, and she just wanted to send me a gift, and I'm eternally grateful. Coffee Crafts Fabrics on Etsy have sent me this little piece of Aida, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know whether to use that side or that side, but this is hand dyed, and it was a lovely gift from Coffee Crafts Fabrics. She has an Etsy shop with many different dyed fabrics, really top quality, and so I'll put the link in below to her Etsy shop. But I'm just really grateful for this. So any ideas what I can stitch on it? It's fairly small, and it's sort of a grey, almost purpley but mainly grey colour. Really not sure what to stitch on it, but I'll definitely have a good look for things to stitch on it. What else? So all that leaves me to show you is my current WIP, which is the conversion I was speaking about of Cathedral Woods Goddess by Mirabilia, Nora Corbett. I showed you some Aida last time, Even Weave last time, that I dyed myself with coffee, and it was a huge piece and I wasn't sure which side to use. And the more I looked at it, the more I realised that actually that piece could be cut in half, still fit the Cathedral Goddess on, and then I would still have half to use for something else. So that's what I did. I chose which area I wanted. It was on the A side. I know I asked people to try and help me decide on A or B. It was on the A side, and so I chose 1/2, and this is where I'm at so far. This is just a headdress. I've had to frog this already. I'm doing a conversion which is by a lady called Gina Lantis Figaro, who is a member of one of the Mirabilia conversion group on Facebook, and that's where I saw this conversion. And I took all the information down about converting it, and I started to stitch and realised that actually it was wrong. I was doing a blue-green colour on here, which I knew didn't actually exist in her finished design. So I managed to get hold of her, thankfully, and she was really helpful, really friendly to me, and we realised that actually she didn't convert the headdress in any way. It was only lower down the chart that she's used the conversions. So I thankfully had some of the colour I needed in my stash, and I managed to frog a load of it out, and and carry on with it. I've still got a long way to go. As you can tell, I've only been stitching on it a couple of evenings, but I'm on the skin now, which is here. Now I know it's really hard to see, but that is actually 1/1 skin, and I'm doing it 1/1/10 stitch. I'm not doing the full crosses. I may go back and do the full crosses, I'm not sure, just because I'm lazy and to save time really, and to save my eyes. I think I'm going to have to start using a magnifier for it. The main way I could see whether I'd actually got all the holes or got all the stitches was to take a photo of it and zoom in, and I did actually realise there was a couple that I'd missed. So I do have a magnifying lamp, it's just positioning it in the right way that's going to be a bit of an issue. But I think I'm going to have to do that going forward, because my eyes are not the best as it is. I think I need bifocals really. Next time I have my eyes tested, I'm going to have to get bifocals at the bottom. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. But she's just got her face here and then a little bit of her shoulders and her arms going down. So it's not a massive amount of skin to do. And I've started, so I'll finish now. There's about 3 or 4 different skin colours. And the rest of it is just covered in beads and metallic threads. Like all these are metallic threads all around here, and these are in the order that I've ended up getting a refund for and been waiting for absolutely weeks. So I've managed to order some of them from 123 Stitch, and I've managed to order the others from Lakeside. Lakeside would always be my go-to first, but they just don't have the metallic threads that I need. The Crinics, they just don't have them in stock. In fact, they don't seem to be in stock anywhere in the UK currently, or not anywhere that I've looked anyway. So I've had to bite the bullet and order them from 123 Stitch in America. So I'm just hoping they won't take too long to get here. And that, I think, is everything that I had to say today. Once again, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing. I'm sorry it's been a couple of weeks since I've posted. I think the first 2 I did about a week apart, but even though it's lockdown, I've just been constantly busy. I'm playing with my sewing machine or stitching or helping my daughter with her schoolwork or this, that and the other. There just doesn't seem to have been that much time, and I was trying to get those FFOs finished as well. The other thing actually is that a lot of people admired my husband's Royal Engineers emblem so much that I've actually decided to do commissions for people. I've got 3, possibly 4 orders so far for various army emblems, which I can get at, I think it's called Elite Designs. I can get you can either get the just the chart, or you can get the full kit from Elite Designs, UK-based company. So if there are any Army emblems, Army, Navy, Air Force, anything like that you're interested in doing, check out Elite Designs, and they should be able to sort it out for you. So I will let you know how those WIPs go as and when I start them, and that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.